I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. They won a baseball game. They finally won a baseball game. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Met Central and the New York Mets. After me ranting and getting pissed and finally letting it loose yesterday, they finally actually win a baseball game and have a chance now to somewhat redeem themselves by winning tomorrow potentially, because at the end of the day, that's where I will really at least be a little bit more moved in that regard. But I am so happy to finally see this team actually win a game because it has been 7 games a week now. And the funniest part about all of it is that in that 7 game losing streak, they scored 16 runs total. Tonight, they score 11. Isn't it great how baseball works? Because just some more offense here and there, maybe. And, they actually at least win a few of these baseball games here, but I will take it. I will take it. A lot of solo home runs tonight, taking advantage of a young pitcher that you should be taking advantage of, even though I think McAble is a solid pitcher. And I thought, I'm not just saying it because I have him on my fantasy team, but also I think he's a solid pitcher. And at the end of the day, though, this team needs to take advantage of this kind of pitching. And then even more so, when you get him out after 3 innings, you really need to take advantage of Joe Ross coming in. And then you need to extra take advantage of it when they put in their reliever with over an 8 ERA, and they thankfully get the job done. And they also used a couple of their better arms tonight, too. Well, one of their better arms, Romano, but either way, it was nice to see the Mets actually hitting for power and getting the job done tonight. And early, it did not look good. Do not get me wrong. Early on, I thought it was going to be another one of those games because this game started off just typical. But leave a like, by the way, on your way in, or if you're watching on replay, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here on Met Central. But this game started off, Brandon Nimmo gets a home run in the first inning, and I'm sitting there, honestly, no reaction at all. Sitting on my couch with not a care in the world that he hit a home run, because I'm like, I really don't care. They don't do this with runners in scoring position. And knowing the way this goes, the Phillies are just going to respond in the next inning. But then Soto and Alonso get on. There's a wild pitch. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll tack on more runs. But no, Jeff McNeil flies out, and then Jared Young grounds out, which I know he hit a home run, but Jared Young hitting 6 needs to end. Bottom of the first inning, though, again, they responded. The Phillies respond. Lindor had a nice play over at short to start off the game, but then Schwarber gets a single, Bohm gets a single, Castellanos with a double to tie the game up at 1. Kepler grounds out, which made it 2-1. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there like, yeah, of course. You get the lead early, you give it right back. And honestly, Griffin Canning just has not looked good at all lately. And, I'll talk more about the way he pitched later on in this post-game show, but it's definitely more of what we expected. Tonight was more of what we expected Griffin Canning to be honest with you, going into the year. Like, this was the type of pitching line where you thought you would get, like, this is what you thought Canning would be, right? Where it's 5 innings, 3 to 4 runs against, 3 of them earned, 4 runs against. But that was the type of Griffin Canning I think all of us expected going into the year. So it's hard for me to get mad at the stat line tonight, but it's also frustrating because of what we saw earlier on in the year. But either way, then we go to the bottom of the second, and all of a sudden, once again, you have Otto Kemp get a double, and then a wild pitch ends up scoring him after Marsh grounded out, which moved the runner over. But then you have a wild pitch, and I blame that more on Alvarez because just, again, not blocking a ball. And I said right then and there, please send this kid down already. We go to the top of the third. Lindor hits a home run. Again, similar. I was happy to see him hit a home run. The Mets needed it, and it made it 3-2. But I was like, and the funny part was on the broadcast, they're talking about, yeah, well, when Lindor hits home runs, the Mets typically win. He has a 22-game winning streak when that happens. And then, funny enough, he hits the home run there. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, the streak's going to come to an end tonight, isn't it? But then Brandon Nimmo hits a home run to tie it. I'm like, Well, we saw them do this last time where they tied the game up on back-to-back home runs. So is it going to matter? And then Juan Soto absolutely just beats the ever-living piss out of a high fastball and tanks that shit to right field to make it a 4-3 game. Unfortunately, they don't tack on more runs, but back-to-back-to-back home runs, about time. The bottom of the third, Griffith Canning worked into a jam, had a couple of walks, but he worked out of it at least. He needed what he got in the bottom of the fourth, though. He struck out the side. That was desperately needed to save his outing because I thought at that point you weren't getting going into the fourth. I'm like, you're not getting like this is his last inning. There's no way you're getting more from Canning. At most, maybe a batter or two in the fifth. But thankfully, him striking out the side saved his outing. And then the top of the fifth, Juan Soto, another solo shot. Once again, crush one, which, by the way, the single that he had in the first inning would have been a home run at Yankee Stadium. So if this game was played at Yankee Stadium or Steinbrenner Field, he would have had 3 home run games. So just of course. But either way, beautiful to see him hit just an absolute freaking moonshot. 2 moonshots tonight. And he's making a late push, honestly, for the All-Star game here, I would say. I've been voting him every day. You guys should be doing the same. You should be doing the same for a lot of these guys, even though, again, I was pretty pissed off yesterday. Still going to vote for them to get into the All-Star game, but he ends up making it 5-3. And then the Phillies respond in the bottom of the fifth, and I thought, here we go again, because McNeil, just a horrible error out in center field, which I was thinking to myself then and there, and again, Jared Young hit a home run, and I still stand by what my thought was in the fifth inning there. With the lack of production you're getting from Jared Young, why are you not just having McNeil DH or someone else DH that's playing the field and putting Tyrone Taylor out in center? I don't understand that. But either way, it resulted in Boehm getting a single, which brought in a run. Thankfully, though, the Mets in the top of the sixth respond as a weird sequence happened because Alvarez had a single, Mauricio got a single, and then this is what was weird. So Lindor hits a double, and I honestly didn't even like bat an eye. I thought, okay, that was clearly foul, but apparently it went off the wall. And after watching the replay, definitely went off the wall, which made it a 7-4 game. Brazaban got into a bit of trouble, worked out of it in the bottom of the sixth, and then in the bottom of the seventh had a lot better of an inning. He allowed a single, got a double play and a strikeout though. In the eighth inning, they destroyed a pitcher that they should be destroying, which he had like an 8 ERA going in. Jared Young had a home run. Nice to see him get a home run, even though, again, I still don't want him in the lineup because he should be hitting off a pitcher with a friggin' 8.5 ERA. Beatty walks. Taylor gets a single. And then with 2 outs, Nimmo walks. And then Juan Soto with a single. Just yet again, getting on base. Makes it a 10-4 game. He absolutely killed them. And I got to be honest with you. I've been dreaming, like, when they got Juan Soto, the thought of him stepping into the box at CBP and just destroying the ever-living piss out of the Phillies, it was something in my mind all winter. And it was so beautiful to watch it come into fruition. Then Alvarez hit a home run. I'm sure Eric Chavez gave him the belt the second he walked into the dugout, but he got his third home run of the year and he pulled the baseball. Crazy what happens when he pulls the baseball, right? And then you got good work from Stanek. Davinsky didn't make us sweat, thankfully. And yeah, the Mets actually won the baseball game. We'll see if it carries over because there have been plenty of times where they've put up a lot of runs and then it does not carry over. So time will tell. We'll see. But it was nice to see, at least for one day, the offense actually come through. Juan Soto, obviously, just the MVP of the game. 4 for 5 today, 4 RBIs, and 2 home runs. Beautiful day from him. Brandon Nimmo going 2 for 4. Please, please, please tomorrow. I don't care that Jesus Luzardo throws with his left arm. Keep Nimmo in the 2-hole. Please. It's clearly making the difference. He performs much better in the 2-hole. Please keep him there. I don't care that Luzardo throws with his left arm. But I digress. Pete Alonso having a multi-hit game was nice. Lindor, really the top guy showing up, which was the most important thing because they've not got that in quite a bit, to be honest with you. So it was nice to see it actually happen. And then a few contributions from the bottom of the order. Like I said, Young had the home run. Alvarez had the home run. He had 2 hits today, and then one of them being, I think, an infield hit, and then Mauricio had a single, which was also nice to see. Again, will it carry over? I don't know. That's what is important now. But it was nice to see them just kill the Phillies after they just destroyed you yesterday. In terms of Griffin Canning again, I don't know. I really don't know how to feel right now because, again, like I said before, if you told me Griffin Canning would give you that type of ball often, I would be like, all right, that, I would take that. That's what I would say. I would say that I would take that, but it's just annoying from what we saw. The only silver lining I have in Griffin Canning's start is outside of the first inning, he really did not allow a lot of hard contact at all because after the first inning, the only hard hit balls he allowed was the Otto Kemp double and the um the Alec Boehm single. So outside of those two things, he didn't allow a lot of hard contact, which is the positive that I could take away. The velocity was up, which is another positive you could take away from his outing. It's just really more the fact that he's not generating as much. A little, you're missing some of the swing and miss stuff that we saw earlier in the year is really the problem because he's just missing with his location a little too much. And I still want to see him throw the changeup more. I think he's got to start utilizing that a lot more. It was giving him success early on in the season. Why not go back to it a little bit more? To me, that's what's odd is you had something that was really, really working for you. Why are you not weaponizing that more? But either way, yeah, hopefully he gets on the right track though, because his pitching staff needs him to. And then Brosabon, him rebounding was huge tonight. Stanek not being panic was nice. But again, we'll see how this carries over tomorrow. You got to win the series though. Now you really have to win the series. Peterson's been consistent. You have to win with him on the mound. And Luzardo's not been as sharp lately. The offense has to carry over. It just has to. So let me see what you guys are saying though in the chat before I wrap things up here for the night. Do you believe in miracles? I guess I have to now. Now that's what I like to see. You and I both. Will it be consistent though is really now the next question. About time win tomorrow. I'm with all of you that are just ready to turn the page to tomorrow because I just want to see this team prove that it's going to snowball into something consistent. Because if they could salvage somehow, some way, what was a disaster 0-4 start to this 10-game stretch and finish 500 at this rate, I will take that. Which that would require winning tomorrow and then winning 3 out of 4 against the Braves, which will that happen? I don't know. Chris Sale went down, which might go in the Mets' favor. You don't want to see a guy get injured, but it might go in their favor. And yeah, I mean, they do hit a lot of solo home runs. I'm not mad about it from the back-to-back-to-back ones, but just like the other ones, it's like, not that I'm mad in general about it, and I'm not going to complain about them hitting home runs, but it's like, why can't you do this with guys on base at the same time? Yeah, this was officially the Juan Soto game, and hopefully we get more of them going forward. Yeah, bottom of the lineup still isn't great, but like I said a couple weeks ago, and I forgot which game it was after, the top guys could just stay somewhat consistent, which would be nice. You get the top guys to be consistent. At least the bottom of the lineup can be fixed come the trade deadline. But if the top guys are going to struggle and they're still not going to hit with runners in scoring position, then it wouldn't matter. So again, we'll see. I'm not ready to streak the streets yet in that regard. Yeah, that's the only thing. It's like now Chavez got spared a little bit here, huh? And hopefully this is what gets them going is right. Two cats. Hopefully. I think they said 22 before he hit the home run. So I think it's now 23, but I could be wrong. Nimmo has a great night. He'll be moved in the lineup. Probably, but hopefully not. He needs to stay in the 2 hole. I don't understand why it matters what arm the pitcher throws with for the lineup to switch in that regard. I just don't understand. Yeah, I mean, sure, but like the problem is they need him to go deep in games right now. Like that's the problem. And yeah, you take this type of outing, but you really need what you got from him at the beginning of the year just for little bit more of a little bit more of a run. So a little bit more of a run until they get healthy. That's really all. Yeah, they need to drag them in the dirt. That'd be nice. I mean, if they could get revenge and somehow just really curb stomp them, that would make up for every single thing that happened over the 7-game losing streak. But what happened, I don't know. They started with one though, thankfully. They started at least with one. And yeah, it is 28 straight. You were right. I just saw a tweet now about it. And Lindor said, "I wish I would have hit homers in Atlanta." Yeah, well, you have a chance to redeem yourself though. The upcoming homestand against them. Yeah, I mean, I said going into the series, this would tell me a lot about the team. If they rolled over and died like they did yesterday, would not have been good, to say the least. So, very important. Very important. But yeah, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when we upload or go live here. I'll see you guys in the next one.